From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 11th, 2017. U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations Jason Greenblatt met today with senior Palestinian negotiators in Jerusalem. Greenblatt arrived in Israel yesterday to continue efforts to restart peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians. In Greenblatt's meeting today with Palestinian representatives, he was joined by U.S. Consul General Donald Blum and U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman. Yesterday, Greenblatt met with the families of two of the Israeli citizens missing in Gaza being held by terror group Hamas, Avira Mengistu and Hisham al-Sayed. A meeting with the family of the third Israeli, Juma Abu Ghanima, was not possible. The White House released a statement saying that Greenblatt expressed outrage that Hamas has not allowed the Israelis, some of whom may need medical assistance, to communicate with their families and return home, adding that Mr. Greenblatt expressed his sincere hope that all three Israelis would be returned to their families immediately. Greenblatt also prayed at Jerusalem's Western Wall for the safe return of the three, as well as for the return of the remains of IDF soldiers Oron Shaul and Hadar Golden being held by Hamas in Gaza. And later today, Greenblatt, Friedman, and Blum met with Israeli and Palestinian basketball coaches who are leaving for a 2-week sports diplomacy exchange program in the U.S., where they will meet with and work with American coaches in a program run by the State Department's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs. Israel's President Reuven Rivlin led a memorial ceremony last night in Jerusalem, marking the 11th anniversary of the Second Lebanon War. It was the first such ceremony to take place at the new National Memorial Hall at Mount Herzl, which was unveiled at the end of April. The battle between Israel and Lebanese terror group Hezbollah began on July the 12th of 2006 and ended on August the 14th, with 121 IDF soldiers and 49 Israeli civilians killed. Rivlin told the bereaved families gathered last night that should another war be imposed on us, we will vigorously defend our lives, our independence, and our citizens. The Foreign Minister of Ireland is in Israel this week. Simon Coveney arrived in the country yesterday and met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who confronted the visiting minister over some issues, including Ireland's support of non-governmental organizations who Israel says call for the destruction of Israel. Also over Ireland's position of not condemning the Palestinians for incitement and glorification of terror. Coveney wrote on Twitter that he had a good, straight-talking meeting with Netanyahu and listened to his concerns. Coveney yesterday also visited Yad Vashem, Israel's living memorial to the Holocaust. He is scheduled to meet Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas and Palestinian Authority Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki in Ramallah on Thursday. Well, Israel's Labor Party, which sits in the opposition in the Knesset, has a new leader. In a surprise win, Avi Gabay, who up until recently belonged to the Kulanu party, beat Labor veteran Amir Peretz in runoff elections held yesterday, winning 52% of the vote. Gabay is seen as a relative newcomer in Israeli politics, though he did serve as Israel's Environmental Protection Minister last year. Gabay replaces previous Labor Party chairman and opposition leader Isaac Herzog. Police in New York are searching for a man accused of carving some 30 swastikas into wet concrete in Brooklyn this weekend. The incident, captured on video, took place in the predominantly Jewish Midwood neighborhood early Saturday morning. According to the New York Daily News, the swastikas were found and reported to the NYPD on Monday, whose hate crimes task force is investigating. Meanwhile, a memorial hit by anti-Semitic vandalism in Boston was reopened today. If you recall, the New England Holocaust Memorial was damaged last month when a suspect smashed one of its glass panels. It was rededicated at a public ceremony today, fully repaired, and attended by Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker and Boston Mayor Martin Walsh, as well as representatives from the area's combined Jewish philanthropies and the Jewish Community Relations Council. The suspect, 21-year-old James Isaac, has pled not guilty to 2 counts of willful and malicious destruction of personal property. A U.S. Court of Appeals ruled yesterday that a California family can sue for the return of a painting stolen from their family by the Nazis during the Holocaust. The Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling refers to a lawsuit brought by the great-grandchildren of Lily Kasserer regarding an 1897 oil on canvas by Danish-French impressionist Camille Pissarro. Kasserer was forced to sell the painting to the German government in return for exit visas to get her and her family out of Nazi Germany in 1939. The painting, which is worth over $30 million, is currently the property of a museum in Spain. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, July the 11th. At 7 o'clock, a panel discussion on innovating the Jewish future. At 8, Mechon Hadar's Rabbi Eli Confer offers his views of what 21st century Jewish life will look like at Limud FSU 2017. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Rabbi Uri Regev of Chidush on the Chaim, and at 10, University of Michigan professor Tzvi Gittelman talks about how nationality and religion are used to describe Jews in Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union, also from the Limud FSU conference. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Mark Golub speaks with Barry Schrage at the Jewish Federation of North America's General Assembly. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 11th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.